Yes, sir. Back with another one. It's like 3 shows in a week. It's crazy. Anyways,
I was
thank
gonna say,
you
I
guys.
feel like we was just on here, bro.
I know. Thank you guys for tuning into the Hoodie and Headband podcast show. I'm your co-host as always, Bryce Warner.
Number close, stream it down.
Tariq, you know
I gotta ask you.
I have to ask you now. How are you feeling, man?
I'm all right. I mean, nobody likes being down 3-1, but once it starts to set in that, hey, this, you might not win this shit. You kind of gotta look at it from a different perspective. Of we wasn't even supposed to be here, so I'm more so uh enjoying the journey
Mm-hmm.
and like looking back at the journey than I am like, damn, we need to do like this. Now, obviously, I still want us to win the series. I still want us to
Obviously.
win game 5 and put the pressure on them to go back to our crib in game 6 and hopefully win it. But, you know, if there's one team I would want to lose to, this would be the team. I mean, this is the team that I had going to the finals the whole season anyway. And I've been saying Jokic is the best player in the league. So my narrative is good no matter what, basically. I mean, so if we win, I'm happy. And my fandom, my Heat fandom grows. Our accolades continue to grow past some other teams. And then if Denver wins, then my Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league. Should have been MVP. They're the best team in the league. They're gonna win. They're gonna make it to the finals. All that looks great. If we had somebody that did compilation videos of our past episodes this season,
Need
I
that.
would look like I would look like a genius. But we don't have that. So y'all just got to go off based off what I say right now. But hey, I'm alive. Could be worse. Haley Jones got the start today. Didn't have a great game. I hate the Dreams offense. That shit is so slow. Um, it's bad, man. I'm sorry. It's bad.
Oh man,
Just
Tariq
like
was
I fell
the
asleep
dream
watching the
all
game. That's
year,
how
bro.
bad the offense was.
Tariq gonna
It
be
was
taking
bad.
the dream all year, bro.
Yeah, it was oh man. Uh, and once they get in transition, they look a lot better. But the half court offense, this is like, oh, we can't find it. Ryan, shoot this three. Literally though, like, oh, nothing's working. Ron go shoot this three with a hand in her face. She
Yeah.
might make it, she might miss it. Alicia Gray might force her way to the rim. Cheyenne Parker played well in the first couple of minutes, and then after that, it was kind of just they couldn't find a way to get a bucket. They just turned the ball over. They was like, oh, they got 4 field goals in the last 5 minutes, but they also had 4 turnovers in the last. And then they only shot like 26 shots at one point, and Connecticut had shot like 42. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you shot 16 less shots than another team. That's why your offense looks the way it does because you can't get shots up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I can't complain. How about you, my boy?
I'm good, bro. Can't complain, bro. Feeling good. Chilling. Good Lord. But yeah, I'm just chilling. Can't complain, bro. Good weekend was good. Went to church today. Church was amazing. Needed that message, man. Really did. But yeah, we back here podding, bro. Um, we've really been on it. I don't know, people come up to me all the time, be like, "Yeah, man, pod is tough, bro. Y'all like it, bro. I rock with it, man. Hey, man, y'all boy funny, bro. Like, y'all pod funny as hell, it's that and that, whatever, bro." I'm just like, word, appreciate you. I don't know, it feels still kind of feels weird getting recognized in person a little bit. I mean, I'm not like I'm on a big like national global scale or anything. Like I ain't like not like TikTok famous or an influencer at the moment or anything like that. But I mean, I haven't put the work in, so there's that. And I'm glad that people are starting to notice and acknowledge the work that I've been putting in over the past month or so in terms of dropping videos consistently and doing consistent podcasts and stuff and just trying to grow the following, just trying to grow our viewership, just trying to grow as a whole, man. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. We've been doing this for what, going on 3 years now, third year, and seeing the amount of growth that we've had, like seeing the amount of total plays that we've had on our podcast in 3 years. Well, it hasn't really even been officially 3 years because we had our old podcast page and we did this one. I probably should have just did it on the same one, just change it up. But I don't know. But thing is, it's been I feel good. I feel blessed. That's how I feel. So let's get into it, man. Nuggets are up 3-1 to the Miami Heat. They won both game 3 and game 4, which I didn't think would have happened. I thought Miami at least would have got one home game. But yeah, so the Denver Nuggets are up 3-1. Is the series over? Is it over for the Miami Heat? Or do Miami Heat live to see another day? Do they fight hard? Do they get one on the road, get it done? What is your thoughts? Is it over for y'all? Is it over for Miami Heat?
I'm not the right person to ask this question because you already know. I'm rocking my squad until it's zeros on the clock and motherfuckers got confetti fall and they celebrate.
I'll say to the confetti drop and the parade happen, that's when you say it's over.
Because you can't even say when they put the little yellow markers out because we'd have seen that come back in our favor too. So got to be
Yeah.
zeros on the clock, confetti dropping. I don't know, man. I have a lot of faith in this team. This team has been through a lot. I mean, the last 3 seasons, I would say since the bubble season, they've been through a lot. In terms of just dealing with different injuries in the regular season. I mean, I don't know the numbers on it, but we've got to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams that's dealt with with the most injuries over the last at least 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Whether it be Tyler, Duncan, Jimmy, Bam, Kyle,
Vic.
Victor. I mean, tons of injuries the last couple of seasons. It's just hit us at the wrong times. I mean, and it's hard to find a rhythm and to get everybody on the same page when your best players are out or important role players are out. And I know everybody's just saying like, oh, they better without Tyler Hero, but this is a series where we could have used Tyler Hero.
Definitely, bro. Definitely.
Like, this is a series where Tyler Hero's game would have been perfect. I mean, Tyler plays really good against West Coast teams. I mean, Phoenix he plays really well against. Denver he plays well against. And I think like those finesse teams that they don't play as physical a defense. They don't play as much ISO ball. It's a lot of motion and up and down. And I think that's the kind of game that Tyler thrives off of. So yeah, in a Boston series he may struggle, but I mean it's not like they wasn't trying to target Duncan too, or they were not trying to target Gabe Vincent because he's 6 foot or 6'1". So people are gonna say what they're gonna say. I still don't think we should bring him back because at this point, there's no reason to possibly injure himself for who knows how many games.
Yeah, that's desperate. Like that's like
Yeah,
desperation right there.
it's kind of what we did last year. I mean, with his hamstring, and we brought him back, and he wasn't able to be productive or contribute. And we put him out there so that he can at least draw a defender, but if he can't really do much, he's hampering the team. So, um, that's a quick turnaround for a broken hand. So, just let him heal, get ready for the off season, get his shot or get his game right. But I want to say we'll take Game 5 because we're a resilient team. I mean, this team has fought through a lot, even this season. I mean, we were about to lose in the playing game to Chicago. We were down 10 with like 4 minutes left. Max Strus went crazy. We ended up winning that game, and then we beat the Bucks in the first round at 5. We beat the Knicks in 6, and then we beat the Boston Celtics in 7. So every round has been 5, 6, 7. So I mean, when their backs against the wall, they've shown up. I mean, when we were up 3-1 against Milwaukee, Jimmy and Caleb Martin did what they were supposed to do or did their thing. When we were up 3-2 and Jalen Brunson was trying to, steal a game, send it to Game 7 in New York. Team did what they're supposed to do. Boston came back from down 3-0. Caleb Martin and Jimmy and everybody did their thing in Game 7 in Boston. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go in there and win a game, because at the end of the day, you just need to go in and get one and put the pressure on the other side. Because, I mean, the pressure's on them to go win. I mean, you can win a championship on your home floor, in front of your family, in front of your fans, in front of your friends. Like, this is the time to do it. So the pressure's on them to have their best game of the season, and we got to go out and compete. I mean, but this team, this Nuggets team, it's one of the best we've seen in a really long time. I mean, and this isn't like a super team. So it's not. I'm not even counting like Golden State, your Cleveland, your Miami's. I'm talking about like your Golden State's pre KD, your San Antonio's, like those teams. Like Denver is up there with those, because you've got two elite players and you got great role players around them that are excelling in their roles, know what their roles are. I mean, you got Christian Brown stepping in Game 3, and then Bruce Brown stepping up in Game 4. Aaron Gordon having really a game changing or a series changing first quarter in the first game of the finals, and then Game 4 he went crazy and led the team in scoring, had 6 assists, 7 rebounds, and that's not even mentioning Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, who might or at this point are the best duo in the league. So it's gonna be a hard fought battle. I mean, to be able to beat this team when they have a championship clincher on the line in their crib, it's gonna be very difficult to do. But you know me, I'm gonna say we got a chance.
Oh yeah, of course, to the end.
But we're eventually either gonna need the role players to play like they've played to this point, not in the last 4 games, but how they played in the Boston series, the Milwaukee series, the Knicks series. We need Caleb Martin to be. We don't need him to be 25 plus a game. We don't need him to average 18. We just need 12 to 15. 12 to 15 from him, 12 to 15 from Gabe, 12 to 15 from Strus, 12 to 15 from Duncan. And it's doable. Like, especially when they're shooters. So all it takes is you hitting 3 or 4 threes and you already got 12 points. So it's not like, oh, we really need you to get in your bag and do all this crazy stuff. But we either need that or we need one of them Jimmy games. And it's not looking like we're going to get one, because we've been saying, hey, we might need a Jimmy game since the Knicks series. So
I thought
we didn't necessarily.
he started off.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't necessarily need one in the Knicks series, but in the Boston series, at some point we felt like we were going to need one after Game 3, and then in this series, would have been nice for Jimmy to come out, and he was aggressive and he played really well in the first quarter, but it would have been nice for him to stay aggressive throughout the game to try to, even if his aggressiveness ended up getting better looks for our role players. I think when they see him not as aggressive and they see him passing up shots, they're going to pass up shots too. And there's a lot of times where you can see, like, okay, one of the players might have a good shot, but they pump fake and take a dribble or 2 dribbles and pass it to somebody else, and instead of just having confidence in the shot that they have, and shooting the shots that they've been shooting all playoffs. So your best player's got to be confident. He's got to be aggressive, whether or not he's making or missing shots. Obviously, the ankle is bothering him, but you out there, man. So we're expecting Jimmy Butler, and I know it's messed up because he's got a bum ankle that's very swollen. You can still see. I mean, you can see him sitting courtside during practice. You can see the ankle is just completely swollen, and he has had no rest. But you are getting 2 games off or 2 days off from almost every game. I think every game but Game 4 in this series. So I don't know, man.
I'm sorry. What did
What?
you ask me something?
Huh?
Did you ask me something?
No, I said so. I don't know. I don't know what to expect
It's
from
kind of
Jimmy.
just like sitting there. Let me stop
Yeah,
being distracted, bro. But
I can't expect one of those games at this point. So we're kind of it sucks that we get to this point and our best player is injured and we gotta rely on our role players to do more than they're not. I want to say more than they're capable of, but more than they're used to doing.
yeah, like all right. So it's do I see it? It's like I don't know. It's kind of like desperation a little bit. Like you guys, like all right, we need one of these games. And it's just too much at stake. It's like too much pressure for that to really happen. It's like, all right, we need a Jimmy game. We ain't really get a Jimmy game. Like we really need it, but like I don't know, you just really can't live like that. You really just can't be like bank on, all right, we're gonna get a game out of Jimmy finally. We're gonna do this, that, now, whatever, in order to win. I mean, it's not when the odds are stacked against you like this, it's not really that possible. Not say that possible, it's not like the outcome is not really gonna be what you expect it to be. It's like gambling. It's like you can't gamble with money. You can't gamble with your rent money. You can't gamble with play money. You can't be like, oh, I need this. I need this parlay to hit so I can pay my rent. No, you need to pay your rent.
Right.
So yeah, this whole thing with Jimmy is like, oh, we need Jimmy to have a 40-point triple double game, that and that. It's like, okay, yeah, that's what's needed at this point. Is it likely that it'll happen? Not likely. Not say with all due respect. It's just Denver's in a different mode, bro. Like, bro, you got like I said, anybody can anybody can give Denver the contribution they need for tonight. Like we saw Christian Brown in game 3. Bruce Brown game 4. It's insane, bro. It's like them boys is really a definition of staying ready. Like Christian Brown, what's this? His rookie year, sophomore year?
Christian Brown is rookie year.
This is rookie year.
Yeah,
Oh man, bro, and like I know bro was seeing, good time during the regular season, but hasn't really seen like I don't know, like he really saw garbage minutes throughout the playoffs. And then
yeah, depending on the series.
he just stepped up and cooked one day. And how much did he drop, bro?
He dropped
Yeah, like
15 game 3.
yeah, 15 game 3.
Yeah.
That 15 felt like it was 25.
I was gonna say, but that's a lot for a
I
guy
said
that plays
that
like
15 felt like
for a
25.
guy that plays like 15 minutes to get 15 points. It it's a it's like I don't even have a because the way our players are playing, but yeah, I mean it's like Grant Williams last season against Milwaukee in Game 7 when he hit 8 threes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're fine with Tatum giving you 50 or Jaylen Brown giving you 40 and you losing on that, but Grant Williams being the reason that you go home, you really can't live with that. And I'm not saying that Christian Brown is a bum because the reason that he's able to do this because he's been doing it his whole life. He's been doing it in high school. He did it at
Oh
Kansas.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Like bro,
these are plays that he's able to make, but you haven't seen it at a high level in the NBA to this point, and then you see it in the game 3 in the NBA Finals. And it's like, really, this is what we're doing. But I
yeah,
can't even be mad because our role players have been doing the same thing all playoffs. Every team that we played is like
yeah.
Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin is averaging 18. Like, what the fuck is going on? So I can't be mad at Bruce Brown or Christian Brown for doing what they're doing. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're contributing um, at a high level in the NBA Finals. What more can you ask?
Mhm.
And I mean, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, They're just.
on a
I
different
mean,
like
they can't be
that's
stopped.
bro. That's a scary thing.
They.
And those bad. Well, shut them out.
I mean, game three, they both had triple doubles, first time ever for two players to have on the same team to have a triple double in the finals.
Yeah, it's just
Jokic had 32, 21, and 10. Jamal had 34, 10, and 10. Like when two players are playing like that, it's gonna be very hard to beat them. Uh, they scored or assisted on 80% of the points for Denver in game three. That's crazy. And this is coming off game two where they were able to like just let Jokic do his thing and kind of slow down Jamal. And they came right back and were like, "No, we know what we got to do. We're not gonna allow y'all to take one of us out of the game or to
mhm.
take me from doing what I want to do." Jokic's like, "Oh, y'all gonna let me score? I'm still gonna get 10 assists and I'm gonna get 21 boards." And Jamal was like, "Oh, y'all think y'all can slow me down? I'm gonna give y'all 34, 10, and 10." So you're trying to slow us down. You can't slow us down. You can't slow down the role players.
Yeah,
Uh, the rate we got out rebounded by 25. I mean, it was they just out physical us, outplayed us.
hmm
And at points in the game, it just seems like Miami's outmatched. Like they just don't have the players to match up, and it's not like other than Jamal and Jokic, it's not like as you go down the line, the matchups are just way out of like, oh my god, this is such an advantage. It's not. It's just the size. I mean,
yeah,
you got Jokic 7 foot, Aaron Gordon 6'10", 250, 240, Michael Porter Jr. 6'10", KCP 6'5", 6'6", and then Jamal 6'3", 6'4".
yeah,
And then you got us, and you got Gabe 6 foot, Strus is like 6'3", Jimmy 6'7", and then we played Caleb Martin in the first game, and he was 6'6", and he's like 215. And then you can't really play Kevin Love for a long span of minutes at this point because he's going to give you a good spurt of 10 to 12 minutes,
yeah.
but he's not going to be able to give you a solid 25 minutes anymore. It's just not. It's not in his game,
Same.
and partly is because he wasn't playing for Cleveland. So like, if he was playing for Cleveland and he like was playing like every game and then he got bought out, it'd be different. But he didn't play
Yeah,
for 80% of the season, and then came to us and he was really only supposed to play like a specific amount of minutes, and then we need you to start in the NBA Finals and do this. So um, I wouldn't necessarily say we're like completely outmatched in terms of talent. It's just when the top talent is playing the best basketball they've ever played. I wouldn't even say that. Yeah, I would say the best basketball they've ever played. And then you mix in other players you mix in Aaron Gordon playing the best basketball he's ever played. And you mix in Christian Brown playing great basketball and Bruce Brown playing great basketball.
yep,
And then you still got a flurry and Michael Porter Jr. shooting shots. And he may take some bad shots, but he's going to make the ones that he needs to make. And then you still got Jeff Green coming off the bench giving you valuable 7, 8 minutes. KCP is giving you good minutes, hitting not timely shots. So it's just they're a well-oiled machine as a team. This team, other than obviously they brought in Bruce Brown and KCP this year, and Christian Brown was a rookie, but for the most part, this Denver team has been the same since at the very least the bubble. I
but
mean, when your team runs off of two players like it does with Jokic and Jamal, and those players have been playing together since I don't know 2016, 2017.
yeah, whenever
I think,
Jamal after.
yeah. So they've been playing 2-man game since at least 2018 because they both had been starters
Oh yeah,
and established themselves at that point. But
yeah. I remember it was what I think that was during the bubble or either during the bubble, maybe like the year before. I don't know. It was like within the past couple of years before they were really like making noise for real. It was the duo of friends that would go to like pickup runs or whatever. It was like the bigger guy and like the small like light skin guy, whatever. I was like, bro, they really Jokic and Jamal.
nah, they're a great duo. I don't know where they rank in terms of duos. I've seen like, oh, pick one. I'm not doing all that.
ESPN try to set them
But
boys up for failure. Them boys said
yeah,
Kobe Shaq. Was it No. I don't think it was Kobe Shaq. But it
it
was
was like
Bron and Wade
Ron and D Wade.
and KD and Steph. That's who it was. Bron, Wade,
Yeah,
KD and Steph, Jamal and Jokic.
yeah, and it was like pick one. It's like, what's the point?
Like, come
Like
on.
y'all didn't pay attention to them until this point, and now y'all trying to use them for some clicks. But I mean, you can't deny that they're the best duo in the league right now. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
how
can't
could you?
full display, bro. I mean, I feel like they will still be playing like this and dependent, not dependent. Like if it was Boston, they would still be playing the same way. If it was
Yeah,
Milwaukee, they'd be playing the same way. If it was Philly, anybody, because they play like this the whole playoffs against whoever, you know.
yeah.
I mean, Grizzlies
They
didn't get
did it against LeBron and AD, and I think that's
yeah,
like the biggest testament
yeah.
because not only are you playing LeBron, you got to fight the mental part of playing LeBron.
Oh yeah, because
Like the Warriors,
it's really up here when it comes to Braun for real. Because
exactly,
Braun
exactly.
really dissects the game. Really is like yeah,
I don't even mean that. I
a lot
don't
of
even
it is
mean like
up
that
here.
much.
A lot of it is up here because I feel like that's what happened whenever Miami ran into them in the bubble. It was a lot mentally. It was
Yeah,
like
I would add Rondo to that
that team was more
for
experienced.
that part of
That
it.
team had vets and they just knew how to win. I mean, given the circumstance was kind of crazy too. You're in a bubble where you don't see people. Like you just go play ball and you're on a campus, basically.
Yeah, and at
Like,
that point, it was only those two teams left.
yeah.
Like in the playoffs, you've
So it's
seen
just like,
everybody that
oh,
was there, but as it dwindles down, you only see like,
it's like
all
you're
right, now
on
it's just four
Riley.
teams.
You're
Now it's
playing
just these two
a
teams.
certain team for a week.
Yeah,
I don't know, that just takes a different type of toughness. And you're playing against a different team for a week. And
yeah.
you're just sitting there and it's like, yo, we're playing
But
in
my thing about like
now
playing LeBron and it being mental,
people it's I don't know. Bubble's kind of weird now I look back at it. Bubble's like some type of weird person's fantasy. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna just lock the NBA into a campus, into a bubble, and I'm gonna just watch their games. And we're gonna have people tune in from wherever to watch these games. Like we're not gonna have a crowd, but we're gonna replicate a crowd in the crowd on the screen. Have screens around and make it seem like there's a crowd. But yeah, that just felt like some weird person's fantasy. Like I don't know, man. Thinking back on it, but that being said, um, it
for
just
me, like the
yeah,
mental part of playing like guys like LeBron
mm-hmm.
is like when you see all these other players going like podcasts and shit, or like when people would play Michael Jordan,
before
or people
before
would play Kobe.
before you go any further, you mentioned in players in podcasts, bro. I feel like it might be too many players for podcasts, bro.
When Trey Young got one, it's like,
I was like, that's the same thing. That's the same. That's what made me think of this. I was like, because like Paul George's podcast is cool, right? But it's like
yeah,
Trey, what you got to talk about, man? You've been in the league for like 3 years, bro.
chill. I know what you mean, though.
Like
I know what you
4 years,
mean.
4 or 5 years. Maybe has it been 4 years for Trey?
He's 2018.
He's our age. He was a freshman our
Yeah,
freshman year. So
yeah.
that's
He was 2018 with Luca, Jared Jackson Jr.,
so
Aiton,
that's be his
Bagley.
fifth season.
Yeah,
It's just like
because
everybody got podcasts. It's like, bro,
2018.
ain't no way. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is with player podcasts in the moment, bro. It's a big thing, I
You
guess.
got to flip the narrative, man.
Wasn't Kyrie
I'm
supposed
not. I'm
wasn't
not
Kyrie supposed
mad
to
at
come
it.
on a podcast? I feel like Kyrie said he's gonna come out on a podcast. That never happened. He just talks on Instagram Live. I'm trying to think of who else is supposed to come on a podcast. Thought LeBron got undefeated or not undefeated.
Uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted, that's what it is. So yeah, he
The
has that.
barbershop shit.
But he hasn't been on the shop in forever.
You got Draymond.
Draymond, y'all gonna get this podcast.
And then you got like Gilbert Arenas, and these are like past players. You got Gilbert Arenas, JJ.
Well, it's past player. I don't mind past player podcast, but current player
Yeah,
podcast, it's like,
I feel like there may not be that many then.
well, all right. So you
Because the
got
current players.
P, so you got podcast P, you got Trey Young, you got Theo Pinson got a podcast. That's the
Oh
one.
yeah,
Yeah, when John
yeah,
Wall killed the Houston Rockets and then got traded to the Rockets like a couple weeks later.
yeah. I forgot he had one, or he has one.
Duncan Robinson, don't he still got a podcast?
He works with JJ in there, so I don't know if he necessarily has his own.
Okay.
But like him and Tyrese Halliburton and Mikal Bridges all work like with
Oh
him.
yeah, they're all like reoccurring
Oh,
guests.
Pat Bev.
Pat
I love
Bev,
Pat Bev.
yeah.
Pat Bev is funny as hell.
Pat
I've
Bev.
never like actually watched the episode, but his
I seen
clips
the
are funny.
clips though, yeah. But yeah, man, I don't know. I just feel like it's like might be too many people in the space, man. But it is what it is.
Comes with the territory.
Yeah, I don't let
Once COVID hit,
I
everybody was
don't
like,
let that.
I need a way to put out information. So and
Yeah.
it gives us a way to like really know these players. So I
Oh
don't
yeah,
hate like
yeah.
it.
Like I mean, I'm for
Because if we could have got like a if
uh,
15 years ago we could have got somebody like a Kobe Bryant or someone that was like misunderstood or like an Allen Iverson, a KG to do some type of podcast or something like if you were like an actual interview with a player, we would have learned a lot more about them before they either retired so that the like I think a lot of it now is like they're trying to change the narrative around them. So like when you see like
new
a
media.
player, yeah,
So yeah,
when you see a
they're
player
trying to make
like
it to where because not a lot of people in the space are like Taylor Rooks to where they are comfortable enough talking to you, you know, like everybody else in the media is just like trying to I don't know, just the energy from other people in the media is just isn't there the way it should be, like I know me, I want to be someone that's, player friendly, like somebody that players feel comfortable talking to or whatever. And I'm sure you want to as well. But it's people that really are out here trying to like downplay, just completely just trash talk or just talk bad about these players or just like in a certain way or just trying to like make a living off of their shortcomings, you know. Like, well, I'm not even gonna name names. Y'all should know by now, but the guys you see every morning, how they act towards certain players and how they made their livings off players and their opinions on whatever. Like, you got a whole guy that's career is based off his hate for another player. That's insane. That's insane. Not even for another player, for multiple players.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's like the real journalism, the real media hasn't been doing their job. So the players are going to take it upon themselves to get the job done that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
It is interesting, but it's at the same time, it's like, damn, how many are there going to be?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think like a player like Trey Young, I think he's like a prime example of trying to change the way people think about him because when people talk about Trey Young, they talk about like ball dominance and can't play with him, can't win with him as your point guard, blah blah blah. Blah. So I think this is a way of him like getting in front of like all the rumors and him getting traded and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm interested to see how it goes. I don't know if I'll watch an episode or not, but I'm sure I'll see clips on Twitter.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe something happens.
but someone like him kind of needs to have a way to show people that hey, I'm not what y'all are hearing about me. Like that's not who I am.
Yeah. And
But
we need younger
hey,
people in media too, though. Like, we need more guys like us in media. I'll say it. More people like us in media to where it's like, oh, it's just not like old heads talking. and they don't understand how the game is today because they're still stuck on what the game used to be back in the day. So
That's
yeah.
funny as hell coming from you, bro.
I know I'm the
Because
resident
every other show
resident
you be on
owner.
here,
I
every
be
other episode, this ain't David Stern's NBA.
I be on my P.
This
I be
what happened to David Stern's NBA.
exactly.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
I
That's
mean, but
crazy. So
it's
new
facts.
school dudes, but he still be old school.
Facts end of the day though.
These dudes are soft now.
I mean, David Stern NBA is my NBA, bro. That's the NBA we grew up on, man. Come on.
Okay, we also grew up on Adam Silver's NBA because that shit been for a long time.
Yeah,
Your actual years of watching and understand basketball has been under Adam Silver,
fair.
and it's gonna be you're gonna be watching Adam Silver's NBA longer than you've watched David Stern.
I know, and that's low key a shame.
You've already watched more. I'm pretty sure you've already watched more.
Oh, I definitely have.
So like
Half of my life, Adam Silver has been commissioner or deputy commissioner.
yeah,
More than half of my
at
life.
least
At
he was
least.
he was on the NBA draft show.
24,
So at the very least,
24. And when did he become
I
commissioner?
feel like it was 2014,
2014.
but it
Okay,
could have been before that. I can't remember.
I don't know. I thought it was like 2012, but then again, no,
It could have been 2012,
it wasn't 2012
but
because
I can't remember. I can't
Stern
remember who
was.
was up there when LeBron got his
Gotta say,
first trophy.
Stern was still the whatchamacallit, the still
When he got
commissioner.
his first trophy.
Yeah, during
So
first
then
trophy.
it had to be because David Stern didn't pass
Stern was
away
the
that.
commissioner for all the trophies for Braun, except for all the Miami championships, I think.
Maybe I'm not sure.
I believe so. I think it was 2014.
Hmm. Maybe it
Either
was
2014 or 2015. I remember Adam Silver took over at the All-Star break.
Mm.
Whatever year was in Toronto, I believe.
That
That's what I'm trying to think.
was 15. No, that was 16. Wasn't that the Levine and Aaron Gordon year?
Yeah, and I think that's the year that Drake dropped. No, the year before is when Drake dropped. If you're reading this, it's too late.
That was 15.
Yeah, I was 15. That was during All-Star break. I remember that vividly. I remember I went to a basketball game. I saw that he dropped out. I was like, oh shoot. And then I downloaded it and I went to sleep and woke up and listened to it in the morning. Okay, yeah, so 2014. So on February 1st, 2014, Stern stepped down from his position. Silver was unanimously approved by the NBA owners to succeed him.
So it was 2014.
2014. So we going on what, 9 years?
Yeah.
So almost half my life. Anyway, that's what we were talking about. We said on what podcast that I forgot what was the point here because you said something. I was like, wait, I got to talk about player
Oh,
podcast.
I was talking about the mental part of playing LeBron.
Oh yeah, and how these players
Kobe.
podcast or whatever.
Yeah. So like when you see like a Shumpert or
Podcast is great.
Shumpert, it is
The
good.
way he talks about things is
Yeah, he keeps that shit real.
yeah.
He's not like faking or changing anything about him. So like a player like him or Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, and I'm not just naming people with podcasts. I'm even people that go on podcasts, but the way that they talk about some of these players like they're not real human people, they that's a part of playing them. So when Charles Barkley or Gary Payton or Patrick Ewing or whoever in the '90s was playing Michael Jordan, yeah, they could talk, they could say whatever they wanted in like out loud, but in their head they're like, shit, Michael Jordan on the other side, like, fuck, if I miss this, he's gonna come down and do this. If we miss this shot, if we miss like 3 or 4 shots in a row, he's gonna come down and they're gonna get 2 shots here or something like that. So people had to deal with that shit with Mike, you had to deal with it with Kobe. And then I feel like once you got to like 2015 or I would say 2016, uh, No, even I would say even before that.
Oh,
Like
maybe like 2018.
no, I would for LeBron, I would say like 2015. I would say a lot of the series that he was in came down to the other teams not being able to getting over the mental hurdle
Oh, okay. Yeah.
of playing LeBron. So like when the Raptors would play him or Boston would play him, they might have more talent, or Atlanta, who was the one seed and it ran through the league and damn near the whole starting five was an all-star or was all stars. You get to the series and LeBron, his impact on the game and the things that he does and just him being on the court is demoralizing to a lot of the players that are on the court.
Yep.
Shots they normally make, they're not going to make because LeBron is on the other side of the court, and that pressure a lot of players can't handle. So that's why I said like them getting over the mental hurdle of playing LeBron and getting his best because what was it, game five or no game four? They didn't even get to a game five. Game four when LeBron went crazy in the first half, in 98% of other LeBron series, the other team folds or makes mistakes, and LeBron's team ends up winning that game.
Yep.
You could say this series, both series before. You could say the Memphis series before. Yeah, Ja got hurt,
Oh
but
yeah.
Dylan Brooks saying what he said and then making just mistakes on mistake on mistake ended up losing them the series to LA.
Yo,
Golden State had two games. Golden State had two games they should have won, but lost because of mistakes. I'm not saying that they definitely made those mistakes because um, LeBron was on the other side, because Steph did call the timeout that they didn't have against Sacramento. But other than that, it was just basketball. It wasn't like, oh, we made a mistake because we were worried about the other team was going to do. And no one's going to come out and say, like, yeah, we were worried about this, besides maybe Draymond because he'd be dicky. But for real, though, like, he really do.
Oh man.
But players are not going to
Them
come out
all
and say, like,
changed on Braun, bro. After he started getting them clutch checks, bro. Like,
hug the fuck out of LeBron after the series.
bro,
Like, what?
went from calling Braun out his name to calling Braun Big Bro.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
shameless, man.
shameless. So yeah, but like the Golden State series, you could see like multiple times where mistakes that they wouldn't make against another team, they made against the Lakers. The 2016 or the 2016 series where they ended up losing to LeBron and Kyrie, they did the opposite against OKC. Like, yeah, they got down 3-1, but they also came back from 3-1. Like, they were able to make plays when it was time to make plays. For some reason, when LeBron is on the other side of the court, other teams and other players forget how to do that. Yeah, when I was growing up, I always looked at it as like, damn, it's like LeBron on the court. Motherfuckers forget how to play basketball because he controls the game that much that
Yeah,
somebody is worried. Like when you hear like a DeMar DeRozan talk
people
or
are
a
like,
Kyle Lowry talk or a Paul George, like,
oh,
yeah, he was calling out everything.
That Paul George episode where they were talking about how LeBron used to torch both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you got people, like you got players still in the league that are talking about a dude absolutely dominating them every fucking season. Like, couldn't get me to do that. You couldn't pay me to fucking do that.
Nah, bro.
But these dudes will willingly go on a
That man
podcast
himself
or
would do
go on national television and say, yeah, this dude used to bust my ass all the time.
it. Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? But hey, um, but yeah, that my whole point is getting over that hurdle is what really showed me that the Nuggets had taken that step, because there's always a team that you need to get past to
Yeah.
show that okay, they're ready. Like Philly, it's Boston. They still haven't done it. Boston got past Milwaukee. They got to the finals.
Joel beat himself up with that quote forever, bro. Anytime they lose to them, bro, I think of that. It's not a rivalry. They always beat us. Man, I'll lose ass. Let me stop. But
In Milwaukee, I feel like Milwaukee had different. They had two different ones. Like 2020, they lost to us, and I think what five. and then they
Yeah.
needed to get past us. Like obviously they were the better team in 2021, but they needed to get past us because they were the better team in 2020 and they lost. So, um,
Yeah.
they had to get over that hump, and then they had to get past.
They
They
played.
didn't really have to get past anybody because Boston had lost. Well, I guess they had to get past KD. They had to get past
I
KD.
say they played a game 7 against Brooklyn,
Well, I was thinking like
and
I
barely
went
even
I
won
went to
that.
conference finals. I went to conference finals and was like
Oh
they
yeah,
played Atlanta.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they played Atlanta like that wasn't like something they need to get past. Like I guess you could say they need to
I
get
got
past
lucky we
KD.
saw that year, bro. I ain't gonna
I
lie.
guess you could say they need to get past KD, but I'm thinking more so of like these are the teams that have been at the top for the
For,
last 4 or 5 years.
yeah,
So that was Brooklyn's first year being on top because that was KD and Kyrie's first year playing together,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Harden. So I wouldn't necessarily say like they needed to get past them
But
because they
still, they
hadn't
were
been
the
trying.
favorites out
So I would
east.
say Miami was the team that they needed to get past for that season,
Yeah, but I
and
mean,
then Boston last year would be Milwaukee.
yeah. I was gonna say like whole year though, doggone Brooklyn was the favorites coming out of the East. So they did have to get past them in some way, shape, or form. It's like that was the
No,
team.
I'm not saying that they weren't gonna have to. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
like
I was saying that was the team to beat that year was Brooklyn. Just how the team to beat this year was Boston,
yeah.
and the team to beat last year was Boston too. Yeah.
Well, I would say this year was Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee was yeah, Milwaukee was the one seed. They were the favorites
Well,
to
yeah,
make it
they're
to
the
the
one
final.
seed, but it's like I don't know. I just think Boston was more so the team to beat this year than Milwaukee. I mean, I understand
No,
Milwaukee was a one seed, but it just certain things like Milwaukee just was never all the way healthy, which was crazy that they were never all the way healthy. And
exactly, and they were the one seed.
yeah, but even like after I feel like after Giannis went down, that's what took it away from them. It was like, all right, they're not
Well, yeah, but if
asking to
they
beat.
lose Jason Tatum, the same thing happens to Boston.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I more so meant like 2 seasons. So say the end of the 2020 season.
Yeah.
Who does Milwaukee think they need to get through to get where they need to go? They're going to say Miami because they just lost
Okay, I see what you're saying.
and they just went to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
End of the 2021 season, who did Boston need to get through? They were
Milwaukee.
saying Brooklyn and Milwaukee
Yeah.
because Milwaukee just won the championship and Brooklyn beat them, but although
Oh,
they didn't have Jaylen Brown.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then last year, Milwaukee or Boston was like, okay, we lost in that, and then this year, so Milwaukee's like, all right, or Philly's like, we still need to get through Boston. If we can get through Boston, we don't match up terribly with Milwaukee. I feel like they match up better with Milwaukee than they do with Boston. So there's always teams that you need to get past. And for the Nuggets, it was either the Warriors or
Mhm.
LeBron. Like you need to get past one of these players/teams to get to your ultimate goal. And
Yeah.
then like
Lost to the
you can even look at that in the West. Like before the bubble, who won in 2019? The Warriors.
Warriors,
But then
yeah.
they had the injuries, so they didn't win. So 2020 was kind of a clean slate. It was
What
LA and LA.
there?
Yeah, it was LA and LA, and it was like, all right, whatever team. I mean, there was no home court advantage, so it was literally just gonna be like whatever team wins the best of seven, and then they didn't do it. They lost to Denver in seven. They
Mm-hmm.
lost the 3-1 lead, and Denver beat them. Then LA beat them. LA won the championship. Then you go into 2020. You go into the 21 season, and the Warriors are still not the Warriors yet because
Yeah.
Clay still hasn't come back. Uh, they've got the young players. Steph is coming back off an injury. Um, so then there's really nobody that's like, okay, this is the team that's coming up because yeah, the Nuggets were still in the conversation, but it was like, do they have what it takes to get past to get over that hump? So then you have last season where Jokic had to play without Jamal Murray the whole season,
Yep.
had to play without Michael Porter Jr. for 94% of the season, however long it was.
Mm-hmm.
And you had players like Aaron Gordon step up and play a pivotal role in playoff games, like not just like regular season games, but in the playoff games last year. They won a series last year without um did they win a series last year? Or am I tripping?
Who? The Warriors?
No. They didn't win a series. It was the year before.
Oh, the
The
Nuggets.
year before they beat Portland in the
Yeah,
first round, without Jamal,
yeah,
and they
because they
played the Suns in the second series.
to the
So
Warriors.
I would say 20 after the 2021 season, I would say the Suns or the Lakers they felt like they needed to get past the Suns. And then once you get to 2022, it was like, okay, everybody was like, oh, the Warriors are back because Clay is back, Steph is healthy, Draymond is back.
Mm-hmm.
And, there was a lot of people skeptical, but they're a team that had already gotten over the hump. So they weren't worried about anybody that they were going to have to play. But the teams like Memphis, Denver, um, yeah, I guess those are only two. I mean, I guess you could throw in the Clippers. Like the teams like those three that had not been to at least the finals needed to get past certain teams. Um, so yeah, I mean Denver getting past the Lakers, getting past LeBron. I don't think people understood how big of a hurdle that was, especially like sweeping. How many times has LeBron been swept in his career? Twice, 3 times. He was swept in 2007, 20 or 2018, and then this year. Like you don't just walk in and beat LeBron in 4 games, but they did. So I don't think people think about like how I think more people were focused on the Lakers losing than they were on the Nuggets winning. And then once the Heat won, it was like, oh wait, Denver is actually really good. This series is going to be boring because Denver's way better. Like, oh, now all of a sudden Denver's a really good team. It's funny how that works out. Um, but yeah, I just don't see this team not being back in this position next year. Like I don't. Obviously, there's some stuff that has to happen around the league, but I don't see a team that's gonna. I mean, I don't see Jokic getting worse. I see him getting better. I see Jamal Murray getting better with another year or with another offseason to get healthy. And this offseason, he can focus strictly on working out. The past 2 off seasons have been him focusing on rehabbing and getting back on the court. Now he can focus on continuing to better his game. Michael Porter Jr. can better his game. Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, uh, all these players that are contributing, Bruce Brown, are going to be even better next year. And they're going to add more pieces. I think they just made a trade for a couple of picks in this draft and the next draft so that they don't really have to worry about paying a bunch of money to bring in players that they don't have to bring in a bunch of players that cost a lot of money. So, and this is all if they win a championship this year. But um, yeah, man. I mean, this team is just this is one of the best constructed, best well put together teams we've seen in a long time. And again, like I'm not I'm not mentioning super teams when I talk about constructed. I'm talking about like Warriors before KD, uh, Spurs, like let's see, I would say even Toronto, um, Phoenix. Like in terms like of all those teams, I would say the Spurs are better, but this is a close second. Or I mean, I guess you could it would be a conversation with them and the Warriors, like pre KD Warriors, but um Nikola Jokic is I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like you put together like 3 or 4 different players and you got Nikola Jokic. Like I genuinely don't understand it. Like
Yeah,
you're like,
it's
oh, he's a Dirk type player. Well, Dirk couldn't pass like this.
um,
Okay, well, then you add this guy. Well, that guy didn't have the post game that Dirk or that Jokic has. Like Jokic has everything. There's not anything on the court that Jokic cannot do. And he's 7 foot. And I know everybody's like, oh my God, KD's 7 foot. He can do this off the dribble and all this and all that. Like, I think it's more crazy we're seeing Jokic do what he does than when we see KD do what he does. Like, yes, it's crazy, but seeing a guy like Jokic dominate the game on the offensive end in every aspect is it's just crazy. Because like, yeah, Shaq dominated, yeah, Kareem dominated, Wilt dominated, but the way this dude just like takes over an entire game, I would say it's LeBron. I would say it's very LeBron. Like at a 7 foot as a center playing the point guard spot. Basically, I mean, how many times have you seen a center run a pick and roll with the point guard and it worked? Like it works 9 times out of 10. It's gonna work. Like your center is bringing the ball up and running pick and rolls and running flex actions and all like that doesn't make sense. That doesn't happen. That's not normal.
He ain't supposed to be
And
doing
that's why you can't take him out of the game.
that.
That's why you can't take him out of the game because he can play everywhere on the court. Joel Embiid, he's either going to be in the post or he's going to be in the 3-point line. There's no in between. Jokic is going to be everywhere on the court and he's going to dominate from every spot. There's not a spot on the court where he feels uncomfortable. And if he does, they'll find a way to get him in a spot where he does. But I haven't seen a spot where he's like, nah, I don't want the ball here. I've never seen him do that. So yeah, man. As an unbiased watcher, it looks like Denver's gonna win in 5. As a biased watcher, I'm saying it's not over until it's over.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I kind of feel the same way. I don't want Miami to lose like this. I still think Miami got some fight in them, but I don't know. It's not looking promising for them. Like they got a game 5 at home. Denver does. I mean, they was able to steal one on the road, yes, but I don't know, man. Miami doesn't strike me as a team that just give up. You know, it's just like, yeah, we're gonna give it our all for the next 48 minutes. That's what we about to do. When we win, we lose, we lose. So it's not gonna be like an easy like lay down, whatever.
Yeah.
This game was on a Monday too. The game should have been tonight. What are we doing? What happened to Sunday games? What happened to Sunday final games, bro?
I
Like
think
I used to always like fall on a Sunday.
we've had at least one. Because we had Thursday, then Sunday, and then Wednesday, Friday, Monday. And then the next one would be Wednesday. Or no, Thursday.
Yeah, should have had a game tonight.
I think game 7 would end up being what, Saturday or Sunday? If there was. But yeah. What do you think about these Dame Lillard rumors?
You said what?
What do you think about these Dame Lillard rumors?
I think Damian Lillard is going to be a Brooklyn Net.
He's coming to the Heat, bro.
That's another reason why I wanted y'all to win. I wanted y'all to win so Dame could come to Brooklyn easier. Like he said, if y'all win, he said the Heat win, I'm damn sure not going there.
He's so never mind.
He's not ready for the grind.
He's so oh my god, he gotta stop that shit, man.
Like,
no one's gonna
going there. I'm definitely the Heat win.
Him going to the Heat is not even close to KD going to the Warriors.
I mean, it's not, but
or LeBron joining D Wade and Chris Bosh. Like
that's not
it's not even close. Like not even like,
if he would have
not even PG and Kawhi teaming up. Like it's not even that.
I'm saying if he would have won this year, it would have been like, oh, he ran to the championship team. You know that would have been
no one. You mean to tell me if we end up winning this in 7, do you think people are actually going to give us credit for being champions, or are they going to be like, they got lucky? They got lucky. They was on some bullshit. Blah blah blah. Blah. Like they ain't no real. Like they ain't gonna do shit next year. Or like I guarantee you, if we win in 7, 3 days later they'd be talking about what teams are contenders for next season, and we would not be in the conversation.
Oh yeah, it'd be like Vegas. All right, you have the projections for next season. Miami,
Boston, Milwaukee, Philly. We have like the 7th or 8th best odds.
That's overall. Miami Heat plus 1,400.
Like, damn. Like last year, we went to the conference. We were a game away from the finals, or a shot away from the finals.
Yeah,
and we were like, oh, they're like, oh no, they're not even going to be in. They might not even make the playoffs next year. Like type shit. I'm like, bro, what?
He's gonna say this summer. He's gonna be like, oh, we'll be here next year. You got the team. Is he gonna say that again, or is it gonna be like what? What are you guys gonna take? Like, how do you feel it's gonna be the takeaway? Like, what do you think is gonna be the takeaway from this from the Heat?
I think last year we felt like we were right there, so they didn't want to make any drastic changes and mess anything up. But I think at this point, after getting to the finals and possibly losing in five because of a lack of firepower, like it's great to have these players that have stepped up, but they can't be your best players.
Mm-mm.
Like they can't be your next guys after Jimmy. It can't be Jimmy Bam and then your next best player is Gabe Vincent.
Hey Vincent,
It can't. You can't
Kevin
win a
Love.
championship that way.
What year is this for Kevin Love? This is like what 15,
He
16,
came in 2008, so 15.
15. Year 15, Kevin Love.
And then Caleb Martin playing like one of the best players in the league for a series, and Max Strus and Duncan Robinson coming back off the bench and having a resurgence. Like it's hard to try, and Cody Zeller, like to try and rely on these types of players. And it's not disrespectful to them at all.
All right, they're NBA players.
There's just
It's just
because it's just when
they're
you're
not what
when you're
Denver
trying
has.
to win a championship, when you're trying to win a championship, you have to have, I don't want to say star talent, but you have to have like, I don't know how to put it because I feel like any way I put it, it's gonna
I
sound
mean, you gotta have
disrespectful.
some star power. Yeah, you gotta have
But
some.
not even that though. Like we
You gotta have
don't
some
need
household names.
stars.
You gotta have some guys. We're not even household names because that's that's kind of overrating it. But you gotta have guys that are gonna come in and like be damn near all-star level or like close to all-star level type play. You know, like
I don't even mean
like
that. I more so mean
you
like
got Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. can be all-star next year. You got guys that like if you
huh?
look at the other side of Denver, you look on the other side, you look at them and see what they have compared to what Miami has. These guys are young. These guys got firepower. These guys are good. They're working on their game. Aaron Gordon has changed his game up completely, bro. Like the team is different, and they're playing their position. They're playing a role, and it's working out. But Miami, I mean, Miami has the guys, yes, but these are guys that are like just they should just be role players. They're not like second, third option. Like if you put them
If
on,
we had Gabe, Max, Caleb,
like
Duncan coming off the bench, we'd be
yeah,
straight.
yeah,
Like if that's our bench unit, perfect.
like they're good. They're a good supporting cast, but they're as far as being a starter, being people that you rely on a night to night basis, they have shown that they aren't that in these playoffs, and more so in this series.
And that's unfair to them because they weren't they're never supposed to be that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Because
these guys have never really been in that role in their NBA careers.
for a lot of them this is their first team, like their actual first, besides Caleb Martin, like yeah, they've tried out for teams and they've played on like preseason rosters and they've had like 10 days, but
Yeah,
for the most part, this is their first actual team. Like Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, like these are their first real minutes, first real time in the NBA is with the Heat and only with the Heat. Like Hayward Highsmith, like players like that. Like my thing is the difference between like Denver and Miami's role players is Denver's role players have done it in other places.
yeah,
Like Aaron Gordon was the best player on Orlando for what 4 years, five
yeah,
years,
something like
and
that.
then came here playing a role.
Yeah,
Jamal Murray and Jokic have been here, but they're all star level talent, all NBA MVP talent.
yeah,
Michael Porter Jr. is a young guy who is continue to ascend every season. I don't think he'll be an all star, but that's just because he plays. I mean, he plays with really good players, and he hasn't. If he develops like a ball handling and all that other shit, then sure. Um, but KCP has played on championship teams, on contending teams, played with the Pistons and was a starting two guard there, starting two guard for LeBron. Uh, Bruce Brown played with Katie and Kyrie, played in Detroit and had different roles.
yeah,
Like these players have seen different things, and even like a guy like Christian Brown, and I don't mean to say this like they didn't play at a high level, but Christian Brown played at Kansas. Like that doesn't always matter, but sometimes it does. Playing in a big like playing at a big school,
Big
playing
Power
in big
Fives.
games at a big school. Like they won a championship last year. So him competing for a championship with his college team, like that comes back. And when big games happen, those moments matter. We
Yeah.
don't have players that have had those moments other than Kevin Love that have had those moments and they're like, okay, I can reach back to this because when we had this happen or when this happened to me before, I was able to do this. None of these players have that. I mean, even they've had these like playoff moments from the last 2 years and for some of them from the bubble, but there's a difference when these players have seen it happen multiple times or when they're seeing it happen for the first time and they don't know how to get out of it. These it's harder for role players to get out of a funk. It's even harder for role players that aren't used to being in the role that they're in to get out of a funk. So
Yeah.
like Max Struess is used to shooting coming off the bench or even starting but not finishing games. Tyler Hero is the guy that finishes games even if he was coming off the bench last season. Uh, like Duncan, like he's used to finishing games because he did it for a season. He did it in the bubble. He did it from time to time when Tyler was out. Like he was the guy. So when he was slumming or when he had his slump, Max Strus stepped up and then became the starter. So when these guys have these slumps, they're like like their confidence is different than a guy that's been on multiple teams and has had to go through these moments and these lulls and these lapses. It's different. And then obviously, you know, for your star players and your best players, their confidence is different as well. So I think like these guys having to navigate being like really counted on to step up and make plays consistently at a certain point is asking too much.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as a disrespect to them. I just mean like at this point, that's what it is. Like you have guys like Josh Richardson and Justice Winslow go to other spots, go to other places, and they don't contribute as much. This is why. Because they had a specific role and they thrived in that role. They thrived in the system. They thrived under the organization. But not every system and organization can cater to each guy's strengths. And I think Miami does a good job of, I wouldn't say catering, but it allows guys to do what they're their best at. And I don't think a lot of other teams and systems do that. But yeah, man, it's not looking too pretty. How you step out of bounds, man? That's real goofy. I think there's a possibility that Dame goes to Miami. And I'm not saying this as a Heat fan because I'm not a guy that's like, oh, we're gonna get this guy, we're gonna get this guy. Like the only person that I thought we were for sure gonna get was Jimmy, and we did. Other than that, I'm never like, oh, we're getting KD, we're getting Kyrie. Like 9 times out of 10, I don't even want the player that's on the market. And I could see Jimmy, Bam, Riley, Spo, like, okay, this specific team has run its course. Like we've done the absolute best we can with this roster. We need more. And obviously Jimmy and Bam are here to stay. Like those are the corner pieces or cornerstones, I guess you would say. But now, since we've done it without him, it seems easier to I would say to let go, but to move off of Tyler Hero. Because if you can keep one or maybe two of Struce, Duncan, Gabe, Tyler, like if you can keep two of them, maybe or at least one, then that leaves you a spot that you don't have to fill. We don't necessarily have a ton of assets, so that'll be difficult to do. But Pat Riley's the godfather, so he'll make something work. And I'm a lot of the reasons why I didn't want to let or bring in other players like James Harden or a Westbrook or a John Wall or a KD or a Kyrie whenever they were on the market is I didn't want to let go of the players that we had because we had seen them grow year after year, season after season. And when you're watching the same guys play every single night for 2, 3, 4 years, you grow attached to that player and you're like, nah, I can't, I don't want to see that player gone. Like I would rather be in the playoffs every year, have
Yeah.
a chance to win something, and if something breaks right, we win a championship.
Yeah.
Then us try to go all in, we lose the players that we had fun watching, and we end up like in Brooklyn situation now, or the Lakers situation a couple years ago, or Phoenix's situation now. Like with we're in flux,
I
we don't
feel
know what we're
because
doing, we
I'll
don't
just
know what.
bring up Brooklyn and about how they just I don't know. I feel like that team. I feel like that team was straight. I feel like the team was all right. I feel like the team was cool before Harden got there. When they made a trade for Harden, I feel like the team was all right. So Jared Allen became, one of the better bigs in the league seasons after. I mean, Karis LeVert didn't really pan out, especially then when he didn't really pan out. But still, I felt like we needed depth that year. And we lost that depth because we traded for James Harden, and they were just trying to build it, like buy it, not buy it, but like just trying to get a championship, like construct the championship squad instead of doing it organically and relying on the guys that you got on your team. Like, I felt like it was a good team around KD and Kyrie, but they didn't feel that way. They was like, "Oh, James wants out of Houston. Oh, he wants to come here. Let's get him." And that was the energy off rip, honestly, with the KD and the Kyrie signings because they didn't even have a meeting. It just they announced it. It was just like, all right. What was just like, oh, KD and Kyrie are planning to join the Brooklyn Nets this year. Was no meeting. It was just like first, second day of free agency. It was like, all right, them boys coming to Brooklyn, and they're bringing DeAndre Jordan with them.
Yeah, um, I don't think we try to like if we don't get Dame, I don't think we try to make a big splash. Like I think that's the one guy that we would look at to try to add. If not, I think we just add pieces.
That's all.
Um, because I mean, Pat Riley's not a guy that, other than LeBron,
Games.
he's not a guy that really goes all in
No.
um, on superstar or max max level players. So I'm not expecting if we lose this series for him to go out and make a big splash if it's not Dame. So um, I think this offseason we'll either have to take Gabe or Struce. I think all of Struce, Caleb, and um, Gabe are all free agents this offseason. I could be wrong. I know Caleb signed a 2 year. Maybe this might be his second or his first year of the 2 year. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know at least Gabe and Struce are free agents. So we'll have to pick one of them because I mean somebody's gonna try to pay them uh out of their market money, and we can't make the mistake we did when we took Tyler Johnson or when we maxed Tyler Johnson's contract from the Nets. Like
Yeah.
one of them we'll just have to let one of them go. So it'll
Mm.
probably end up being Struce because we already have Duncan and Tyler still under contract. Um, and we don't necessarily know what the Kyle Lowry situation is going to be. Um, so we at least need a point guard on the roster. So we'll see. Series isn't over, so we're not looking full off season mode yet.
Yeah.
But we do need to play Duncan
Different.
in Game 5. We need to start Duncan over Struce in Game 5. Uh, Duncan has been better. Duncan has drawn more attention. Um, I mean, you gotta. This is Gabe is it's win or go home. Like when your season's over. Like you're in the NBA Finals, balls to the wall. Put everything in. Put all your chips in on one table, and try to force a game six. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what the mentality should be. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see if they come out and play with any real energy and intensity. And if they do, I think they got a real shot at forcing game six.
Word. Heard it here first. Word. Well, I think I don't really got much to say, much to offer.
Yeah,
What?
the league's going crazy right now.
Oh yeah, I'm peeping.
Bridget Carlton, Canada's own.
Yeah, no, she went crazy in the first half, and just continue to go crazy now. These
Who
damn
did I have
turnovers
winning?
killing Los
Who
Angeles.
did I have win? Who
These
did I
damn
have winning this
turnovers
game?
killing them boys, man.
Damn
Oh,
I picked the Sparks to win.
oh, I definitely put the Spurs to win too. I know I did. I know I did. So link.
Let's see what I went today. Let's see what I went today since there were 6 games. I went Mystic Silver Storm, correct. Liberty over Wings, correct. Aces over Sky, correct. Oh wait. Liberty over Rings, correct. Aces over Sky, correct. Misses over Sting. Storm. I went Dream over Sun, Mercury over Fever, Sparks over Wings. So I could end the day 5-1 if the Sparks come back to win this thing.
Word. Word. Well, series may or may not be over by the time we see you guys next time. Probably will be. I don't know. We're probably checking afterwards. But thank you guys for tuning in once again. I don't know. You think it's over, bro?
No,
Okay. I don't think so either.
we're getting at least a game six. At least.
Yeah.
My team is a fighter. My team are fighters.
You
They're
know
not gonna go down without it. They're not gonna go down without it.
Oh yeah, you
They're
gotta
gonna
go
go
down.
down swinging.
If you gotta go out, you gotta go out swinging. I tell myself that all the
I
time.
need a flagrant foul, bro. I need one. I need one. I need one.
Oh, you Dodgers nigga, he'll give you one.
There hasn't been one flagrant. I don't even think there's been a technical foul in this series yet.
I don't think
No
so.
like no animosity. Like I need somebody to get turned like get fucking amped. Like I need somebody to get in somebody's face
Yeah.
and hey man, I'm here. Like let the motherfuckers know you right here. We right here, face to face,
Word,
nose to
bro,
nose.
because we ain't really been seeing it. We need Jimmy to come back. This is I don't know who this is.
He ain't been talking shit. Like
Need Jimmy to come back. All right. I don't know who this player is that's wearing number 22. I ain't Jimmy Butler.
he been nice. He ain't been pointing at motherfuckers. He was going crazy on Drew Holiday.
Bro,
Talking crazy about Grant Williams.
uh
Talking crazy about fucking Josh Hart.
but get around
RJ Barrett.
Jokic is quiet. Get around whatchamacallit.
Bridget Carlson, bruh. They said they get this dub for Sylvia Fowles, bro. They not losing. Shout out to Sylvia Fowles, by the way.
Right, yeah,
Shout out
no.
to Sylvia Fowles. Shout out to Sue Bird. They getting their jerseys retired today. Sue's already happened. Sylvia Fowles happened tonight. So shout out to both of them. Shout out to the legends. They didn't waste no time doing they did jersey assignments either.
Oh yeah.
They did them what, less than 10 games into their first season out. Oh, she shot that bitch from damn near out of bounds.
Damn.
Bridget Carlson different though. She a shooter.
That's bugging.
Going crazy.
Damn. Anyways, man, thank you guys for tuning in once again. Shout out to y'all. Shout out my social media. All that good stuff. We'll be back later on this week. Talk W with y'all. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know how we get. Y'all know
Y'all
how we
need to go. Y'all need to go tap in.
I said, go back to that video.
The numbers ain't looking too good. I don't like it. I don't
Okay.
like it. Y'all gonna make me start renting on this motherfucker again.
All right, y'all starting to look a little misogynistic with the views. That's crazy. Anyways, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Bryce. Signing out. Peacing out.
Signing off. Appreciate y'all.